Hi friends, welcome to another monthly favorite. This time we are zeroing in on October, my favorite month. Everything from the autumn foliage to the colors, the yellow, the golds, the copper, the reds, the browns. It is my favorite month out of the entire year, and I treasure each and every day. I love the cardigans and the sweaters and the boots. The Dr. Martens are back on the feet. I still wear my Crocs though with socks on. Oh, by the way, I just realized there was a favor that I added to the list just now. Thank you so much. Let me start with a lifestyle favorite, and that is Orangetheory Fitness. I'm not new to Orangetheory, as I took their classes back, I think it was 2019. I had wanted to add something different to my routine where I felt I was lacking in the cardiorespiratory department. I was not in shape. Even though I was a group fitness instructor, because I didn't spend time in those cardio classes or cardio types of setups, naturally, I did not improve. So with lifting being my priority for the last 2 years, I still understood how vitally important it is to still integrate cardiorespiratory fitness into my program. I dedicate 2 days out of the week to zone 2, that is purposely going at a slower pace or just keeping the heart rate in that zone 2 realm, and me going up a 10% grade incline is how I do that. But I also realize the adaptation of interval training is also significant, and because there is an Orangetheory down the block from where I live, just the sheer convenience of having a boutique studio at such close proximity to me was like, I gotta do this because I have no excuse. And it's actually kind of fun walking to class instead of having to take public transportation. It's a nice benefit. So what is Orangetheory? It is a circuit training based format where they rely on treadmills, rowers, and also free weights to improve your conditioning overall. Even though they market to have strength 50 or strength based classes, to me, in my experience, especially with how much I have spent on lifting, the strength and muscle building capacity or potential, I think exists for those who are mostly sedentary and start Orangetheory as their main mode of training. If you go from not training to doing Orangetheory, you most certainly will become stronger and will build muscle, but there comes a time where you have to surpass that format if you want those gains to continue. For instance, mostly their free weight sections are timed. In a typical weightlifting setting, let's say you have a rep range of 10 to 15 or 10 to 20 reps for a goblet squat. In your first set, it will take you a certain amount of time to finish as many reps as you can. But as you approach the second, third, or maybe fourth set, the tempo starts to slow down, and those last few reps that bring you closer to that top part of the set are grinders. They'll take more time to complete. You'll probably have to take a few more breaths more than what you did at the beginning of your set, and naturally you will spend more time in those later sets than you do in your first set. In Orangetheory, because everything is timed, you don't have the opportunity to push those tougher reps in those later sets. So that is the one disadvantage to Orangetheory in terms of strength and muscle building potential. It's just not there. It's not the ideal environment and setting for those adaptations because the benches that they use are not entirely super stable because the weights people are lifting are not super heavy, and you don't have the time to properly set up or to give yourself enough rest to complete the number of sets for the next set, and you just don't have, again, that time to spend in those grinder reps, which that's where the adaptation occurs. When you are a hardcore lifter, you know this, where the reps are getting hard and you start to see God. It's like a different mindset altogether that's not, I think, appropriate for an environment like Orangetheory or any type of circuit training where it's mainly just cardio with weights, because they are relying on the weights to provide that challenge and to help your heart rate stay up. All that to say though, I do like that competitive environment. It pushes me to get past 90% of my heart rate max, which as Dr. Andy Galpin has suggested, you just want to touch it. That's not a heart rate range you want to hang out in, okay? But because of the treadmill and the rowing machine, I could get it there pretty easily. And I want those adaptations because one, it helps improve the workout capacity for my lifting, and it also helps my overall stamina and endurance, because if I'm lifting for 2.5 hours, I have the ability to do so because my cardiovascular system is also improving. And there are just certain conditions you need to expose your body to in order to achieve those specific adaptations, where you run as fast as you can and then you back off a little bit. Also with the whole all out thing, you're not really going all out if you have to repeat the all outness for 4 or 5 rounds. An all out set will leave you completely depleted and you wouldn't be able to perform that again, or you will need more rest than what's provided. So that's another thing to consider. But I think the whole approach of getting to 70 to 80 or 80 to 90% of your heart rate max for 30 seconds to 90 seconds and backing off is a great way to train your cardiovascular system, and also doing the slow, steady state cardio as well. I know it gets a little overwhelming because it's like, Alicia, how many things can I possibly do? There are only so many hours in the day. And I understand that this is my life, this is my field, and I have time to dedicate to all those modalities, but something suffers. I'm clearly not an endurance athlete, or I'm not looking to devote most of my time in improving my endurance. It is being addressed and it will improve, but not at the same rate as someone who dedicates 4 to 5 days out of the week for endurance training only. I prioritize my lifting because I want to build muscle. I want to become stronger on a trajectory that will lead me into a better quality of life in my 70s and 80s. But I still think it important for me to train those cardiorespiratory adaptations that I get from Orangetheory, and seeing my heart rate on the treadmill screen and on the rower screen, because everything is integrated where you have the data in front of you to gauge where you are performance wise. And I think that is extremely helpful as a participant to gauge your progress, because you have the data, right? What you don't track, you can't measure. And having those numbers, I can then follow my progression and see how I could push myself the next time for the gains. Therefore, I go to Orangetheory just once a week. I just do it once a week. I do my 3 to 4 days of lifting, and I do my 2 days of the zone 2 and stretch in between, do my handstands in between, and that is the program. But I wanted to mention that as a favorite because I have been going for the last month, the month of October, and I do appreciate how it's contributed to my overall strength and conditioning program that I had wrote for myself. So wanted to mention that to kick off the October faves list. And why don't we go into some tools? And we have to kick off this brush list with the Koyudo Deka. I featured this in my Koyudo revival series or my video that I worked with Fude Beauty on. They sent me the brushes, including this beauty here. And I used her today to apply my Suqqu foundation. And I said this in the video, this brush is a velvet puff. Okay, one of the softest natural hair brushes that I now own. It polishes. The buffing is just impeccable, smooth skin left behind. And some of you had even said that you use the Deka to apply powder foundation or just powder products in addition to liquid and cream ones. I cannot think of a better brush, my goodness. And yes, I do love also the Chikuhodo J series. This is also one of their foundation brushes, but it's all synthetic versus the Koyudo Deka. This is Suqqu goat hair dyed. I think there is a place in one's collection for the J series from Chikuhodo. And what was appealing about this, and it was sent to me complimentary, thank you Beautylish, as I also worked with them with their fall gift card event, where these synthetic fibers mimic squirrel hair. I know. When I read that, sign me up. I wanted to experience what a synthetic fiber can do in order to mimic one of the highest grade hairs that are used to make premium brushes from Japan. So Beautylish sent me the entire set upon my request. This is, for example, the JG1, the powder brush, beautifully soft and silky to the skin, and I think an exceptional choice for those who prefer an all synthetic set. And you can't go wrong with Chikuhodo. Their craftsmanship is impeccable, and the fact that they found the technology or created the technology for a synthetic fiber to mimic that of a squirrel strand. Come on now. I have the entire set, but my standout favorites are definitely the powder brush, the foundation brush, the cheek brush. Many of you had messaged me or commented rather with disappointment to say that a lot of these brushes were sold out, and I had no idea. I don't know if they were low in stock before my video released or people already had those brushes on my radar and I was just late to the party. My apologies, fam. I'm sure they will be restocked, and hopefully if you did partake in the fall gift card event, you might have some Beautylish virtual gift card money to spend now in the J series. Let me know down below. And I have to briefly mention Rephr. Yes, they did send me their new eye sets, the Max and the Mini, as well as their Saibikoho cheek brush that was limited edition, but I've been using these non-stop. I love the in-between shapes they developed based on people's feedback. Over 100,000 submissions, and the main concept or what people wanted to achieve with what Rephr already had in their collection was to make the 15 a little bigger or a little smaller. Same thing with the best-selling shapes from their eye collection. And I think it's great that because there's so many eye shapes, right? So many eye shapes, depth of crease and sockets and whatnot, that these nuanced shape changes, I feel, cater to just a more diverse range of eye shapes and sizes. And the fact that Rephr just kind of honed in on what people were suggesting with their feedback in what they already have in their collection, but what tweaks can be made, just elevated their eye brushes to the next level. And I have been using them nonstop. I've been reaching for them because they make it so easy now with these different shapes to achieve just beautiful eye looks that I am one to advocate for one and done shadow looks with using one brush if you wanted to make it as streamlined as possible. But now that you have the options, my goodness. And let me know down below if you bought these and if you started to use them, what you think, fam. I'd love to know. And that leads us into the makeup. I have the Suqqu foundation on, but I also have been rotating with the Hourglass Soft Glow Ambient and House Labs Skin Tech, but the blush. Suqqu's winter collection. Shout out to Suqqu for sending me a few pieces from this collection, but the blush that I have on is the 145 Pure Color Blush. It is my reddish brown dream. The way this applies, no words. It has a sheen left behind, but when buffed into the skin, it leaves behind a beautiful glow. It doesn't appear like a powder whatsoever. You question, is that a cream or a powder? I don't know. The color itself, beautifully versatile. I can apply more here into the hollows and then lighten the gradient as I approach the apples of my cheeks. So I still have that flush from the color, but can get heavier into the sculpting as I climb it higher towards the cheekbones. And the highlighter, you can mix with the blush color if you like to add that extra bit of glow on the cheekbones as well as lower here on the apples of the cheeks. This color has easily found its way into my top 3. That's right, not even top 5, fam. Top 3 blush shades and formula out of my entire collection. I can't go wrong with the shade, whether I want to dress it up with some fancy eyeshadow or just keep it simple, plop on some brows and gloss and call it a day. Again, the versatility and the color itself lends just a beautiful structure and flush to my complexion. The color is utterly perfect. The tone of it, because there's some red in there, it still doesn't read too warm. It's just on the edge, but it has like that autumn vibe that is utterly exquisite. I don't know what else to say, but this blush, and not only, yes, top 3 out of my entire collection, but I would say without a doubt now the #1 favorite Suqqu pure color blush shade out of all my Suqqu blushes, including Melting Powder Blush in Tomoshibi. I know that blush color has all the sauce, but this one, I had to put it on top because every time I apply this freaking shade, I'm shocked, just baffled, perplexed as to how in the world is this shade able to deliver what it does in such a subdued way. Just perfect. And of course, have to give love to the signature color quad with the silver, gold, beige, and dirty olive color. This is in 130 Suya Zoroi. I adore these high pearl finishes from the signature color quad. Exceptional. And how lightweight they are, but still provide lovely impact. You can use your finger, you can use a brush. The pickup is easy. Tap it on, apply as much as you like, but it's lightweight nature, but ability to still deliver that sparkle and dazzle. Everything from the color choice to the formula is just sophisticated from Suqqu. That's why I can't get enough of their eyeshadows, because those who are able, or those who wish to wear these types of textures but have soft eyelids or have texture eyelids, are able to get away with the dazzle razzle opportunities because the formula makes it seamless to apply to your eyes, and where you just have the right brush and the right tool and the patience, and not even the formula does the work for you. You just go on for the ride. You're there for the ride. The formula does it for you in a way that just makes it look professional and elegant. And I have to give a shout out to the cream eyeshadow, which, yes, because it is emollient in nature, it will break down fairly quickly. But listen, the time that you have it on, enjoy it. Look at that beautiful duochrome. And because the base of it is this maroon, you can wear this all over your lid and have that turquoise, or rather teal reflect prominent on your lid, and have that more maroon color faded in towards the crease. What a great combination. There was the other one too. I love this collection so much. I contemplated buying the other pieces, but I stopped myself. I did, because I didn't want to spend the money. I'm trying to save money since there are a lot of things on my I want to get list. And my apologies, I have the lip wrapping treatment also included in the winter collection in my fanny pack, because that is, you know, the one to go. All right, that's in the to go bag. It's the lip wrapping treatment, but with the gold sparkles in there. And when I applied that color for the first time for my Suqqu video, I absolutely loved it. It had this orange caramel shade to it, but because you have the sparkles in the formula now, you have the gloss, but you had a little bit of dazzle on the lip, and a little bit more cushiony than their original lip gloss formula. Their lip gloss formula that came in like the bronzy color and the teal color, you could feel the particles a little bit more, but the lip wrapping treatment has more of like a treatment quality about it, right? There's a little more cushion to the formula, and you don't feel the particles as much for that one. But because I use it every day, and as I mentioned in my original Suqqu video, is one of those shades where I just throw on that I need a little something on the lip, but it's not going to overtake the face, right? It's not going to warrant blush, brows, and eyes. I could just slap that on, have shiny lips, and call it a day, and they look smooth and feel smooth, okay? Exceptional collection from Suqqu. And why don't we go into a few eyeshadow selects? Of course, this is the month of eyeshadow. I have to give it to Pat McGrath's Quint in Bronze Ecstasy. This was also sent to me in PR. Yay! I'm so grateful. A lot of this stuff was sent to me in PR. Yes, this is why I was able to save some. So I sit in gratitude right now. Thank you, family. They also sent me the eye and cheek palette, but I had to showcase the Quint because in my opinion, I do feel the Quints are the MVP of the Bijou Brilliance holiday collection from Pat McGrath. I feel they have the easiest formula and just the most streamlined one. These satin mattes are beautifully easy to use. They're soft on the blend and they have a little bit of sheen to them so they don't look flat on the skin. And these metallics, okay, I gave this metallic a hard time because I'm like, it's chunky, it doesn't swatch like it applies, but one of those things, you kind of have to let it settle. You apply it on your lid, you let it hang out for a little while, and then you find yourself under one of those hard lights, you know, like in your bathroom or in the elevator. The amount of pearl and reflectivity found in this freaking shade is insane. You could just see the twinkle and the multi-dimensionality of this metallic as well as the others. Wonderfully smooth, and when paired with these mattes, this taupey mauve, okay, and you have this smoky or plummy eggplant, you can't go wrong. I have a short using Bronze Ecstasy as well as the demo that I have in my original Pat McGrath video. I love it. I love it. And I was still on the fence. Listen, I had contemplated purchasing the other Quints because many of you were like, listen, girl, the other Quints are beyond and you have to get them. What stopped me was the fact that I have a lot of eyeshadow. Okay, I got a lot of eyeshadow, and I didn't think I would use them as often as I would use Bronze Ecstasy. Bronze Ecstasy is an easygoing palette for me. New Lunar Nightshade was the one that was on my radar originally, the one that I was thinking about getting, but I decided not to because I'm like, hold on. But then to my surprise, saw that PR was on its way, so I'm like, okay, hold on, let's see what's in the box, and I found that it was Bronze Ecstasy, and I was pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised. And yes, although I'm not crazy about the artwork, one of you had mentioned that at least the color of the bow indicates what colors are inside. So this more beigey pink indicates that it's Bronze Ecstasy, and I think like there's like a sea foam for the Lunar Nightshade. I forgot the color schemes, but at least they're different to show what is inside so you don't have to second guess yourself. That's helpful. And if you're wondering what's on the eyes, I know Xenon just released, but I had to include it in this favorite video because I adore this palette. I absolutely love Xenon to death, and you probably at this point already saw my video thesis on why I think Xenon is goated and everyone else is wrong. So what I did, I applied Sposh and skiffed on the lid primarily, darkened the lash line with Night Sky, and then I went in with Lightwork 5. I'll go into that in a minute. Hold on. And listen, I had a client call, and when I saw her eyes, I thought that has to be Xenon, and she told me it's Xenon, and it looked gorgeous on her because this is the neutral palette for those gray scale lovers. And I think, listen, if you think it's just holiday New Year's Eve, it could give you all those moments, but it could give you a plethora of daily moments that are just stunning, but have now that extra sultry quality about them, because anytime you involve charcoal gray in your daily eye or whatever time of day you wish to use these colors on, it's gonna be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. And these like wet effect, super high tech metallic, whatever formula she featured in Xenon, exceptional, easy to use. I mean, look at the shine. It's incredible. I would continue using this palette to death because it is so well thought out, well made, everything from the color choices through the textures, perfect. And Danessa Myricks Lightwork 5. I know I have not yet filmed a dedicated video showcasing this palette. I know, but I wanted to mention this. Lightwork 5, I think, is exceptional in supplementing. So what did I do? I applied Protected on the inner corner because I think this violet pink flip pairs beautifully with the Xenon shades. I even took Resilient on the inner arc of my eye because we all love an icy blue, okay? And then Unstoppable on the outer part of my lid. Here's the thing. People might say that Lightwork 4 had the more robust looking multichromes, and I agree. They're more gem toned in nature, they have that pop, but what's undeniable is just the beautiful silkiness and easy application of these formulas. You can apply them solo or you can apply them together, much like what I did with Izamea's Industrial 2.0 eyeshadow palette. What I loved about that palette is how it demonstrated that you can get away with cocktailing metallics, iridescent, and specialized finishes in a way that you can cocktail mattes with. Because the mattes can look muddy if you don't get your color science right, but the iridescent and metallic shades, especially those that are a little more translucent, you can layer successfully and just have your eye look multi-dimensional, high shine, sparkly, avant-garde, okay? And that is what you can achieve, I think, a little easier with Lightwork 5 versus Lightwork 4. Lightwork 4 had the water activated, those two water activated shades that you need to wet to have that line with, and you had the flaky ones that were a little tough to work with for me because they grabbed the lid in a way that I felt wasn't smooth on the finish. But then you had the multichromes, but because they were so rich, I didn't feel they left a lot of room for layering. You could layer them successfully. Not that they won't appear muddy, they would just appear super impactful. Where I feel you have a little more space here in Lightwork 5 for it to be a little lighter in terms of the finished product, right? Because these shades here, although beautiful, they're not as gem tone rich, and I feel you can apply these all over your lid and it still appears softer in nature. And if you wanted to bump it up, that's where you could layer the darker shades here or even here on the duos. But overall, I think this formula is far more user-friendly than what's found in Lightwork 4. Maybe Lightwork 3, because Lightwork 3 had those cream formulas, Polaris, and I forgot the other one that you can apply on lid or even on the cheeks. And you have Black Hole, which was your cream to powder base to heighten the impact of those flippy shades that were found on the center, the ones with the translucent base. They kind of were like what Protected is, right? It looks white in the pan, but it has that neon or violet neon pink flip there. Lightwork 5 is my favorite for the reasons I just described, but for those who wanted to get into more color and different finishes, this is a great opportunity to do so because I think overall the formula is seamless from top to bottom, and I think fairly easy for the user to cocktail and it not look a mess. It will actually look just beautifully sparkly, razzle dazzle. And again, you have the dial in your hands. You have a bigger lever here in achieving a softer look, even though you still have the multichrome finishes in Lightwork 5. And why don't I end with this nail pen from Holo Taco? I was thrilled when I discovered that Christine finally made a nail oil pen for her brand. And what's special is that you have interchangeable cartridges. You can buy them or they are included in, I believe, each purchase of a nail oil pen. You have the brush here, you have the window to see how low you are, how much you have to go. You have an off-on mechanism here that clicks on or off. The thing is, it does push a fair amount of oil, right? So just beware, you really just need one pump for both hands and under the nails as well, right? And I think it's fantastic now that I don't have to dispose of the entire nail pen when it's done. I could get more of these, and the fact that it is fragrance free, it's just a jojoba oil blend that Christine has relied on for years on her own nails, and now to have it in this dispenser, I think exceptional. And if you're wondering what I have on the nails, well, actually, I forgot, hold on, so many things. I'm ashamed to say that I do not have the Safiya and Holo Taco collab now on my nails. However, I did use it during the month of October. And guess what? This was also sent to me in PR. I had no idea. I had ordered this, fam. I ordered this on a Saturday, and then I received it on a Saturday. I was confused. I thought, that was really fast. I just ordered it, and then it arrived. What? And I emailed them to say, hey, I just wanted to ask, you know, was this sent as an accident? And they said it was sent as PR. I couldn't believe it because I do share Holo Tacos sometimes on Instagram. They don't like or share, and that's fine. Like, I don't need them to, but it was a surprise on my part. So thank you to Holo Taco for sending this to me. And I sent the one I purchased back. Maybe someone who wanted the set can now get it. I'm not sure if they're going to put it back on the web. But anyway, I had to get this because they designed it based on a spell book. And if you don't know Safiya, hello. Safiya is just about that goth witch life in terms of her style and her vibe. And I think Christine collabed with her vision exceptionally well. You see here the bat and crescent moon cutouts with the chrome magenta background, and the fact that, again, you could display it horizontally or vertically like a spell book. Come on. The colors inside, I have some few surprises. So I was sent the entire set that comes with the little bat decorations, the Safiya glass file, and all 5 shadows. I had not yet applied Bury Me in Holo. I know, forgive me. But feeling fiendish. First of all, these boxes, stop it. This color is one of the most just beautifully formulated purples. I don't know what it is about this shade. Yes, it's purple, but there's like a little bit of that pastel-y vibe about it that I love to actually wear it with a matte top coat, because I think the matte top coat brings that color forward a little bit more. And the color that surprised me the most was Brucey. Brucey, I was not ready for. I believe this is a linear holo situation. I forgot what the finish is, but the teal color on this polish is insane. I just love the depth, but again, how you can clearly identify that it's a teal when painted on the nails. And then of course we have Bad Bitch. Bad Bitch is fun. It is, listen, if you like to wear a black nail polish but it's a pain to apply, because I know what you mean, this you can totally get away with it looking black from afar, but it's like a duochrome. It has this, oh my gosh, it's hard to identify. It has like that midnight base with like that eggplant flip. It is gorgeous. I love the shade, and it's easy to apply, a lot easier than pure black nail polish. And Spirit Fingers, surprisingly, Spirit Fingers reminded me of Mooncat's Smokescreen, okay? Now, I did apply both. I think I have photos here. Although they might look the same on photo, if you see them in person side by side, Spirit Fingers has a warmer pink flip in the pink, where Smokescreen has like a cooler pink flip. And I will say Smokescreen is a true magnetic, where the pigment shift, and where it shifts you have like that cool pink shift on the center of the gray base. This is just iridescent flip. It doesn't have the magnetic finish like Smokescreen does, and I would say Smokescreen is deeper in color. Like the first coat, you could go first coat. I rarely do for magnetics especially, but you need 2 or 3 coats, I think, with Spirit Fingers, and that's fine. It is thinner on the first coat for sure compared to Smokescreen, but this color, look at that, is pretty. And Bury Me in Holo, I still need to apply this shade. I think this color was inspired by the shade that emerged from Safiya's numerous experiments in melting everything and putting whatever together, and this is the color that most of those experiments yielded, right? This is what we did. But the shine on this is incredible. right? I think I'll wear this sometime this weekend. I have KB Shimmer on this hand, but I do have Holo Taco on this hand. We have the Fall to Earth bundle with the tan shade and the Fallen Flaky top coat, but with the matte. The matte with the Fallen Flaky or any iridescent finish topper, I think is the best because that enables, I think, for the colors to show better on the nail, that you could actually see the individual colors of the flakies, where shiny is nice as well, 100%, but when it's all shiny, it's hard to detect the different tones and shades found in the flaky top coat, where with the matte top coat, you just have this beautiful glow finish, right? So that has been my go-to combination. And again, had to include Safiya. I mean, especially in the October favorites, come on. Okay, so one of the reasons why I decided to not buy another Pat McGrath Quint was because Crocs collabed with Demon Slayer. It was just one of those things. Okay, if you don't watch Demon Slayer, what are you doing? But when I found out that Crocs was collabing with one of my favorite animes, I wear Crocs. I know they're hideous. The convenience and comfort factor though, and the design is based off of Demon Slayer characters, give me a break. So there were 4 designs: Zenitsu, Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Nezuko. I think, in my opinion, that Zenitsu has the most sauce. This is the best design out of all 4 of them, in my opinion. So I made sure to get these at Comic-Con because that's where they were available early, because my gosh, to get them online when they dropped was near impossible. And then you have the Tanjiro ones, which I think are like the eco. These are the extra squishy ones. A little too big on me. I do wear a size 6 in Crocs, but I think because of this design, they run a little big. But I just love the custom gibbets here and the whole design of the belt. What is this? Not the belt, the heel strap, the strap. What am I saying? Belt. Unmistakably Tanjiro. You know what I mean? These are really hardcore. These are really hardcore when you wear them. People are like, what are those? And funny enough, I have not yet purchased anything from the Sephora sale because I bought a bunch of stuff from Jynwaye.com. Again, another retail source that sells anime clothes because she's a tattoo artist, and a lot of these graphics you see on the clothing pieces she has created herself. And I bought more pieces from Lululemon, this being one of them, is from their super soft Nulu line. I love croppy tank tops types of gigs, and I bought 3 pairs of new colorways in their high-waisted cargo pants. You know, I shared these cargo pants I think sometime last year. That is a uniform. That is my life uniform. So with that said, I had to make a choice. It was either makeup or clothes. And at this point, you know, clothes don't break down like makeup does, right? Of course, granted, if you take care of them, if you wash them well, if you store them well, they will last a very long time. And you could say the same thing about makeup, but a much shorter shelf life than clothes, obviously. And because I wear these pieces all the time, non-stop, I decided to make that purchase a priority and not buy the makeup. And I failed to mention, I did buy Xenon. Probably that was one of the only items out of this favorites list that I did purchase. And the nail pen. The nail pen, I bought the entire set with the Xyler, Menchie, and the birthday magnetic. They're all magnetics. Trio came with the nail pen. I bought that too. And although I am on Natasha's PR list, it's pretty unpredictable whether I'm receiving anything from her releases or not. So I always go in knowing that I need to buy. It's fine. But all that to say, I'm grateful for the PR that I did receive this month because it did help me financially. And I know with YouTube now, I want to find a happy medium with new product releases and videos and going over what I love and learning how to use what we love as well, so we don't go on a buying frenzy. With that said, fam, let me know what your favorites have been for October, whether it be lifestyle, cooking, exercise, makeup, nail polish, brushes, whatever you got. Let me know down below. I'll see you down in those comments, and until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial. Xenon video, or maybe a Lightwork 5 video. I'll get working on that soon. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.